All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rechach Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nap, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. And, I was watching Full Spectrum, and he was going into how him and his girl be doing shifts at night, man. You gotta get 8 hours of sleep. You gotta be 16 hours awake. You gotta watch the cameras. You gotta do all your chores. You gotta do all this. Because in his mind, he thinks that, you know, if he trains you can train for the day of the Lord, man. You can train for it. And I was thinking, damn, man. You know, I put all my trust in the Lord. I don't really got my plan A and my plan B is to trust in the Lord, man. You know, I don't really got none of the things he's talking about. He got chickens, so you know he got a constant food source he got eggs. I even heard him talk about creating like a cricket farm in other episodes, you know, things like that. I don't got any of that, man. I don't got not a damn thing. I live in the city. He don't live in the city. He ain't got to deal with the shit that's gonna go on in the city. That's just gonna be bugged the fuck out. You know, he probably up in the woods somewhere. You know, so that just goes to show you the different types of mindsets that are out there. But at least he knows that there's a day that's coming. He knows the day of the Lord's coming. He might not contribute it to the day of the Lord. He probably contributes it to, you know, carnal things, because he seems to be very carnal. Smart, very smart, but I don't think that's the way to go. You know, that's the way you go when you don't trust in the Lord. You know, you store things up, and you train your wife to sleep for 8 hours while you go around tending to the animals and making sure the cameras, no one's in your driveway, but you know, if that works, it's for some of y'all, you know, the scriptures talk about how, you know, who shall those things be? Because you might think you storing all this shit up for yourself, and you're really not. I don't know what you people don't understand about the Bible. Everything belongs to Israel. You know, you storing up goods. A man of the Lord, that's you storing it up for him. So I'm glad he's doing that. As a matter of fact, you know, hopefully the Lord in that time, if Lord's will, that get to somebody who's serving him, because it tells you in what's that, Isaiah 65. Let's start there. I'm fully giving my 401ks in this book. It's everything. If I don't make it through this, man, I don't even want to make it. If I don't make it the way the Lord said, I don't even want to make it, man. Because it don't even matter anymore. Life is just vanity at that point, you know. So if the Lord don't do exactly what he said, I don't even forget about this life, man. Fuck this place. Isaiah 65, I'm gonna start there as a matter of fact. Hey, shalom to all of y'all, man. And to you scoffers too, good morning. I'm ready for all the smoke, man. Talk all your shit. Just know you're gonna pay for it when I get in the power. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna eat those words. Best believe that. Isaiah 65. And verse 13. As a matter of fact, let's start at the top. Isaiah 65 and 1. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. And that's talking about Israel. You know, you were called everything in the world except Israel. You will call the so-called black, Latino, Native American, a savage, a nigga, a spick, a wetback, whatever the hell. Everything but the name of the Lord, which is Yasharallah. Well, that's not the name of the Lord, but the name. It's a prince of the power. Let me grab this in the book of Hosea. You know, he was always dealing with us, but we just a rebellious people. But that rebellion needs to stop. Let me grab this in Hosea. Hosea 1 and 10. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. And that's happening now. Okay? We're acknowledging us starting with ourselves first that we're the nation of Israel. And then it's going to go on to these other nations. They're going to recognize, yeah, y'all definitely fit these curses. This is definitely talking about y'all, man. This ain't talking about us because we don't fit any of those curses. And look at how we live. We live like fucking heathen. The Bible's true, man. Y'all are the children, y'all are sons of God. And we ain't shit. Look at us, man. You know, they're going to really recognize their ways. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Thank God the Lord made a people so great. If it wasn't for them, man, we'd be fucking eating fucking rats, eating cats, eating dogs. Oh man, they're gonna come up out of that mess too, because they're gonna be forced to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, man. These other heathen nations, that's how they're gonna be blessed. Okay, but it starts with the nation of Israel. Isaiah 65, as a matter of fact, let's grab this in the book of Romans 10. You know, those branches. You know, people get them confused, but Romans 10, verse 20, but Isaiah is very bold and saith, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. But to Israel he saith, all day long I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. And that's talking about Israel, man. You disobedient and gainsaying. You can see that when you do this work and you go try to talk to some of these niggas, you see that they ain't no hope for them, man. The so-called white man, he did such a number on not just them, Arabs, Chinese, multiple captivities that put you in the state that you see the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. That's the only people who they've been discontinued from their heritage. You other nations ain't really experienced that. Y'all kind of been discontinued from your heritage, but you still got your customs. You still got a portion in this life, but you weren't taken away. You know, Moab. You know, he got, what, 500 plus years in China? So that's something to be proud about, man. There ain't nothing to be proud about walking in here, you know, being destroyed by a fucking nasty pedophile nigga. Okay? And we got to thank the Lord that he left the remnant. The same way us coming into this truth and thanking the Lord that he left the remnant so that we got this truth is how these heathen are going to feel when we get in the power. They're going to be like, oh, shit. Damn, I wish I was Israel. Isaiah 65 and 3. A people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick. So that's talking about idolatry. Okay, when you run around worshiping these other gods, just like you do today. Just like you worship the so-called white man today. Like a damn heathen. Okay? And that's why a lot of you niggas gonna get destroyed. A lot of you Christian Catholic motherfuckers, I'm talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You a damn fool if you're a, what do you call those people that go around, the Mormons? You're a fucking fool, especially if you so-called Mexican, man. If you a Mexican Mormon, man, you need to get your act together. I ain't gonna wish death on you, but you really need to get your shit together, man. This nigga went into your land. Look at the history of this nigga. And now he's trying to be your friend. It tells you in the book of Job 14 and 4, you can't make a clean thing out of an unclean. Something was made on rape, rob, and murder. How can you make that clean? Get the hell out of here. You want to make it clean? Get the fuck out this land. Go back to where the fuck you came from, motherfucker. Then we can start. Then, hold on, let me kill some of your men, too. Let me slaughter some of your kids, too. We gotta clean this land up. They're not going to do that. Isaiah 65 and 4, which remain among the graves and large in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things is in their vessels. And that's what you're not supposed to eat swine's flesh. Okay? Abominable things are in their vessels, like the Moabites. They got all types of abominations inside of them. You eat like them. You eating swine. You're the temple of God. You're not supposed to sacrifice swine in the temple, man. That's an abomination. But you putting it in your vessel and you justifying it, going, mixing up the scriptures, and you teaching other people to do it too. So you got to be destroyed. Let me grab this in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18. Deuteronomy 18, verse 11. It says, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer, For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. That's right. So any type of abomination, he gonna drive them out. Okay, he gonna make sure they be an example of how not to be. Okay, but you can go into the book of Leviticus. Let me go there. Leviticus 11, where your dietary laws are at. For those of you who don't know what's in your sword, man. You need something to read, start over there. Go read the laws of God, man, and meditate on it. And see if you fit the standard of what a righteous man's supposed to be. That's what's supposed to cut you, man. That's how you get right with the Lord. And then when you look at the same way you do that, right? You look at these other nations, okay? That's you putting the glasses on. You can see that these niggas are the demons. When you understand what's written in the book, follow the law, and then you look at everybody else and tell me who's righteous or not. Nobody, okay? And you understand why the Lord's gonna destroy this place. Why these multiple wars? Why he got thermonuclear missiles? The Lord don't need to do that when the righteous are in authority. He don't need thermonuclear missiles. He creates thermonuclear missiles for wicked nations. It tells you in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, the eyes of the Lord are upon this sinful kingdom, and he will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Let me grab that as a matter of fact. I'm trying to get out of the habit of quoting things. You think you know, once you get in the habit of quoting things, you know, it's good and it's bad. Amos 9, in verse number 8, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. So his eyes are on the sinful kingdom. Now that's talking about the northern kingdom of Israel. He was upon it, but he didn't destroy it off the face of the earth. You can go to the northern kingdom of Israel today. You can go to Samaria today. Okay, so it wasn't talking about that. It's talking about here in America. This is the place that's going to be destroyed off the face of the earth. Okay, that's why he sets up a nation to give them all these weapons and things like that so they can destroy themselves. Isaiah 65, as a matter of fact, Leviticus chapter 11, in verse number 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. The swine is a pig. And though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, he has some characteristics of a clean animal, but he's not. He doesn't chew the cud, okay? Which means when you look into chewing the cud, it's the way he chooses food, you know? And there's a certain way, like, you know, a cow, for example, it regurgitates its food back up, and then it eats it again, okay? That's chewing the cud. These animals don't do that. So that's what makes it unclean unto you. These laws were given unto the nation of Israel. Okay? So we should know better. But yet you see the so-called black woman at the fucking at the crab shack getting a lobster plate with the corn and the all that other abominable shit. They ain't supposed to be eating that shit, and then you wonder why you're getting your leg amputated when you're 50 years old. Why you got cancer in your neck? You know, something weird. You know, it's because of you disobeyed the laws. Okay? Leviticus 11 and verse 8, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. So you're not supposed to even touch a dead pig. That's why Esau puts that shit in all your food, to purposely try to defile you, but ultimately our righteousness is as filthy rags, according to Isaiah 64:6. But we understand that we need the Lord. When you these laws are supposed to make you understand you can't keep the law perfectly. These laws are supposed to show you why you need Yahweh Shai. Okay, those pains that you have in your body is for you. You should be crying to Yahweh Shai, because the niggas putting shit in your food. And that's what you're feeling. You're feeling the effects of what you've eaten over the past however long you were born. All that Enfamil, all the shit that this nigga done put in your food. All the heavy metals he got in your food. The different poisons he has in your food. The different shit you can't pronounce on the back of his label, his natural flavors. his artificial this and that, his real this and that. That's what you're feeling in your body. That's why you need the Lord to destroy this nigga. He needs to be destroyed. Then then you need to be changed. And then the rest of the nations, that's not gonna be in your food anymore. We don't operate like the so-called white man. We know how to do business. Shit, even Moab can do better business than this thing. He gotta go. Esau, the so-called white man. Isaiah 65, in verse number 5, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day. So you're smoking his nose. And you see those type of people, they go to church. That's the smoke in the Lord's nose. They think they're holier than thou. But they're not. As a matter of fact, I saw one video last night on X with a so-called black man in a church setting speaking the truth, man. Speaking the truth. He was saying, not we're the tribe of Judah, you know, blah, 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 blah. He was going in. I was like, you know what? That church is lucky they got a man like that, man. He got the 501c3. He probably, some people are going hard for the Lord, man. So that's why, you know, when I see it with my own eyes, the Lord got 7,000 men that won't bow the knee. You don't know where they're at, but he was in a church teaching people coming to church. He was telling them that in a church. I didn't get his name, but it might have been an old clip, but somebody shared that, and I was like, yeah, that's deep, man. Because that's where the word really needs to get into these damn harlot houses. Got you thinking that you're holier than thou, and that's not getting you prepared for this battle. A lot of you holier than thou got fucking 9 jab shots. You probably got jabbed this. You heard the flu shit was increasing, so you went and got 2 more jab shots to make sure you were good for the flu in the vid variant that they got this year. You know, and that's because you got a lack of knowledge, man. According to Hosea 4:6, let me grab that too. Let's grab that. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, and verse number 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. So it's not even just about you. He said he'll forget your children too. You should read Joshua the 7th chapter, see what happened to Achan for breaking these laws, man. Everything that he loved, man, got put to death. Even the sheep he had cattle, he had a tent. They threw the tent in there too. They stoned the tent with him. Okay? So a lot of people, man, keeping the law ain't gonna save you, but, you know, following Yahweh Shai and believing, he gonna change you. Isaiah 65. So yeah, that's the smoke in his nose. These people that go to these temples, okay, these harlot houses, and they think they're more holier than thou, and they don't have any wisdom. It says that I will be no priest to me. The priest they're supposed to keep knowledge at their lips, okay? When you speak to a priest, he's supposed to be helping you out some way, some form, because a lot of people need to know about the Lord, especially in the times that we coming in. I'm starting to get views. I never had views before. It's because the mirth is gone. You know, everyone gonna be. That's how I know that in these last days, man, the men of the Lord are gonna be. They're gonna be as precious as fine gold, just like the scriptures say. But a lot of y'all ain't. You don't have no clue. You're gonna be dry. You're gonna have no water in a wilderness. Okay, and the Lord is making his men like that rock that you could cleave to get water in the wilderness, just like he gave to the nation of Israel. But not everyone, a lot of people gonna walk by those stones, man. Those lively stones, they're gonna be walking by and they ain't gonna see it. And they might actually get real water too, real food too. We're gonna be multiplying bread in that time, man. Because our faith is gonna be increased. Every day it's getting increased. When you hear it, and I hear this shit in the news, man, I be feeling good. Duck saying he still don't give a fuck about Greenland. He said they sent 50 troops over there yesterday, a couple of days ago. Only 50 troops. You think that's gonna stop America, man? Get the fuck out of here. You know? Eventually, Revelation 17, 16, and 17 are gonna be implemented, but it's just showing you the mindset. They want to do things, but they don't want to at the same time. But the Lord's still gonna put it in their mind to do what he told them to do. And he's still gonna put it in their mind to come up and fight against him too. They're not gonna want to do that either. They're gonna be like, I don't think I want to do that. But it says, the scripture say, yet there's fight. Okay, so they're gonna fight the Lord even though they don't want to. They're gonna know it's the Lord. They're gonna know it's the Lord. And now they're not gonna want to fight, and they're still gonna fight, man. Isaiah chapter 65. In verse number 6, behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense into their bosom. Yeah, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna get paid. It tells you in Romans 6 verse 23, the wages of sin is death. So if you want to keep working, practicing those wicked acts, you're gonna pay for it. You're gonna pay for it with your life. You're gonna pay for it with your family's life too. The Lord's no respecter of persons, man. In order to be his disciple, you gotta love him first. You gotta put the Lord first, and not everyone does that. You don't put the Lord first, and he sees it. And he ain't even say nothing about it. He's cool with it, because he got something for your ass. He got something for you. Imagine somebody you love, imagine your children ain't coming to you. That hurts them. Tell them to come home and they don't want to come home, that's painful. Okay? Especially now that he's bringing all this judgment. You could have been dwelling in a secret place, but nope. You got a hard heart. Scriptures talk about the adamant stone. Let me grab that. Adamant stone, KJV. Zechariah 7 and 12. Let's go there. Zechariah 7 verse 12. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law, and the words which the Lord Yahweh of hosts have sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. That's right. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. They didn't want to hear the law, man. They didn't want to get right. They didn't want to meditate on these things. It wasn't for your downfall, man. It was to help you, man. A father's only going to tell his son something that's going to benefit him, you know? Tell him, hey, do this, that, and the third, man, so you can live, so we can receive you, man. You know? But that's what's wrong with the nation of Israel. They don't want to hear it. It's ultimately because they're too proud. Isaiah 65 and verse 7, your iniquities and the iniquities of your fathers together, saith the Lord Yahweh, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom. Yeah, he's going to measure you, and you being measured now. You're being measured to the standard. This is the standard, the laws, the whole volume of the book. Where do you fit? A lot of y'all you don't fit. You don't meet the requirements. So you can't get on the ride. Just like when you go into an amusement park, you got to be a certain height. Well, the same thing with this word. We're measuring you through the scriptures. It tells you in the book of Revelation 11. And 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. So we're measuring you. The reed that's like unto the rod is the Bible. Okay, this is the measurement. Okay, where do you meet to that standard? We're all trying to meet the standard that the Lord is trying to, what he's looking for salvation. Ultimately, the elect are going to meet that standard. But the non-elect, you're going to be destroyed. Okay, so what he does is he tries to wake up his men Get them prepared, because the rod is coming. That rod of reproof is coming. You know, when the father get back home, he send his son. Tells you in Ezekiel the 9th chapter, you're gonna want that that dawah, okay? That mark of exemption. That's meeting the standard. Because if you don't have it, you're gonna be destroyed. Let me grab this in Ezekiel 9. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verse 1. He cried also in my ears with a loud voice, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lieth toward the north, and every man a slaughter weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with the writer's inkhorn by his side. And they went in and stood beside the brazen altar, and the glory of the heavenly Father of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. And he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So who do you see sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof? Not everybody, okay? You don't see these other nations, they're not crying about the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, because they're the abomination. They're the ones that are going to be destroyed. That's why the Lord gave them militaries that can, that they're preparing to go into the valley of Jehoshaphat. If they understood that, they wouldn't be going to war, man. But they're heathen, they're stupid. That's the snare, that's the trap. And they're all going into it. All these nations are going into the Lord's trap He set for the whole world. Ezekiel 9, verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Yeah, the others, that's talking about y'all, the rest of the world, man. Smite their ass, kill them. That's the Most High, man. He's sending his son to do the same thing. And he's giving them his wrath. He's coming with the wrath of God, okay? It tells you in Isaiah the 63rd chapter that it was enough to sustain him. So he got a lot of anger, man. The Lord's he's not gonna pity you in that time. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Ooh. Begin at the sanctuary. Ultimately, that's the believers in the truth. When you read 1 Peter 4, verse 17. Let's grab that. Those of us who understand that with Israel, you know, some of us fell out. You know, they still got a chance to repent, but they're not going to, because they feel like the Lord is taking too long. So they want to enjoy their little measly, pathetic lives. They want to enjoy sin for a season, Moses said in Hebrews. Let me grab that after this. 1 Peter 4, verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? What shall the end be for you? We obey it to the best of our ability. But if you don't obey at all, what the hell's going to happen to you? You praying, you going to church every week for what? That's vanity, man. Let me grab this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. So he's not like you people who fell out the truth and to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Okay, you can't, there's no way in hell you watching the news and feeling good about your decision. probably feel good. Oh, he didn't do the Insurrection Act. Oh, he said he wasn't. He said only 28 presidents did it. If he said I would use it, that probably makes you feel good. It's still gonna come. They were like, whoo. Oh, the Lord didn't send those. Oh man, word. I can still keep in my folly. Okay. Oh, he only sent 50 troops to Greenland. All right, he ain't going in there yet. All right, word, man. I got more time to play. And that's what's wrong with you Israelites, man. That's why the Lord's gonna come in the time that you least expect it, because you fooling around, playing around like that. Okay? And then in your folly, you're gonna be destroyed. That's why you're supposed to read things like this, and it's supposed to keep you firm-footed in this truth. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 25. Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God. That's what we're doing. The people of God are the Israelites. Okay, we're suffering the curses. And we choose rather to do that. Bear the indignation of the Lord, like it tells you in the book of Micah 7 and 9. Let's grab that. Am I done with this? Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. So y'all don't have no respect for the recompense of the reward. There's a reward for what we're doing here. I'm trying to get to it, but I started at Isaiah 65 and I started at the top. And the Lord had me go a different route. This is the book of Micah. Chapter 7 and verse number 9. I will bear the indignation of the Lord Yahweh, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. That's right. So we're going to bear the indignation of the Lord until he execute judgment for us. Okay? He's going to judge the so-called white man for you. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is glorify him, praise him while he, bring forth his, what's to say in Psalms, the 9th chapter. Salakia. I'm trying to paraphrase something that I can't. Psalms chapter 9, verse 1. I will praise thee, O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, with my whole heart. I will show forth all thy marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in thee. I will sing praise to thy name, O thou most high. And that's what we're doing. Okay? Showing forth his marvelous works by doing what he told us to do. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 7. And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, Ah, Lord, Yahweh, power, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel in thy pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Then he said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness, for they say the Lord have forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. So you think the Lord forsaketh the earth, and you think the Lord seeth not, but he sees everything. Okay? He watches even the heathen. And that's why they're going to be destroyed. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 10, and as for me, also my eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. So, it's very simple, man. Ezekiel 9 and 11, and behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. And it tells you in the book of Ecclesiasticus 39, verse 28 and down, somewhere around there. It goes into how they will rejoice at his commandment. So these different spirits that the Lord got created to destroy, they're going to do exactly just that. All right? So when the shit gets harder and harder, and you asking for mercy, they're not going to give you that mercy. Your mercy is now. You don't want to repent, you will die. Okay? It's very simple. Especially from the house of Israel, man. If you, and all you other believers out there, it don't matter if you look like a Moabite. If you believe, you know who you are, you know who your father is, you know your heritage, you got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And this is the time to do so, especially when he got people with masks on their face going door to door. Okay, these are not men these are nasty ass cracker boys, man. You want to be safe from these people, man, and you need the Lord to lift up a standard for you. These niggas, their whole history is an abomination. You gotta understand, the Lord created this nigga to be like that. He hates Esau, man. He made something that he hates. Imagine you whipping something up. All right, what do I hate? Let me give him that. Let me not give him any melanin. What else do I hate? I hate death. Let me just make him as death, man. Make him a homosexual. Make him a transgender. Make him all of this shit. Make him evil. Tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 13, who can make that crooked, who can make that straight, which I have made crooked? He made him like that. You can't change this nigga. That's why you black women get found in a damn woods somewhere with your arm over here, your leg over here, and a bite mark in your fucking torso. That's because you like dealing with Edomites. And that's what your ass get. But then when you walk by the altar and you got your chin up in the air, okay. All right. You keep your chin up in the air, man. You're gonna be begging. You women gonna be begging. You're gonna be on your knees. Please take away my reproach. Please, sir, Lord. Please, Lord. Watch when these judgments come to pass. We ain't chasing you hoes. You're gonna be coming to us. You're gonna be bowing down. You're gonna be with your face to the ground. Multiple of you. This is the book of Isaiah 65 and verse number 8. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it, so will I do for my servants' sakes, that I may not destroy them all. So there's got a cluster of grapes. Okay? The new wine is found in the cluster. It's just like he's been cultivating a plant. Let me grab that precept in Second Esdras. I forgot where it's at. I haven't grabbed it in a while. The Lord spared a cluster of grapes greatly, KJV. Second Esdras 9. Second Esdras 9. Let me grab that. So the Lord got a cluster. It's talking about, it's a metaphor for the elect of Israel. Those are his choice grapes. You know, you think about wine and the process it has to go through in order to make that wine. It's a rigorous, you know, in order to, you gotta really put it through hell, man. To get the taste, the different scents that you want in your wine. You taste a good wine, you appreciate it. You're like, damn, this wine is great. That's sort of like with the elect, with the Lord. That's what the Lord has put his elect through. That process to make them like just the greatest wine, the finest wine. Second Esdras chapter 9. I'll start at verse 19, the point's down. It says, for then everyone obeyed, but now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves. That's right. So that is talking about sin. Okay, that's that corruptible seed. Second Esdras 9, verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it. And he's considering this world that we live in today. And what do we see? All the devices, AI, this. I was just talking about how Elon Musk got Grok, and people on Grok are using the shit to take little girls, little boys, taking their images and making it into illicit photos. And this nigga's not doing anything about it. They're legally doing that because it's AI generated. It's not really real. So there's no laws to protect children. Okay? Only in a world where so-called white man rules will that be acceptable. You niggas are buying his cars. So it's not all these heathen. It's not that you drive a Tesla. I'm not trying to talk shit about that. But it's just to see how ingrained, you know, you don't care. Okay, he'll do something like that, and then he'll have you asking to putting money in his pocket at the same time. It don't make any fucking sense. 2 Esdras 9 in verse 20 again. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and I have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. Okay, and that's talking about his elect. Through these different trials, we've been in this world multiple times, man. And it was hell every single damn time, man. And we made it through every single time. There ain't no nothing different. We're gonna make it through this time too. And you can tell just looking at these damn non-believers. That should be a faith booster. Look at this nigga. He probably got one more day left on this earth. He don't got no pain in his body. He think everything's good, but he's out of his fucking mind. Lord's not dealing with those people. Okay? Some of these young men out here, you gonna die too. So it don't matter how old you are, what you going through, man. The Lord's gonna deliver his elect. Is that it? I'm gonna read a little bit more. 2 Esdras 9 verse 23. Nevertheless, if thou wilt seize yet 7 days more, but thou shalt not fast in them, but go into a field of flowers where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field, taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only, and pray unto the highest continually, then will I come and talk with thee. So that's pretty much it. But he sent Esdras to go eat flowers, man, and pray continually. And then there's more in that book. Going into 2 Esdras, the 10th chapter, the 11th chapter, the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. That's just 9. Isaiah 65 and verse number 9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. So his elect are going to inherit the kingdom. It tells you in the book of Daniel 7. Let me grab that. Daniel 7 verse 18. I meditate on that, man. The Lord said, thou art my battle axe, and with thee will I break in pieces the nations. And this all needs to be fulfilled. I want the Lord to give me power so I can bust the so-called white man upside his fucking head, split his shit down the middle, man. All right, I want to get 20 on 1. Let's see, 100 on 1. I want the power, Lord. That's the real power, man. This nigga Esau got some. That shit ain't power, man. Power from the Lord is much better than power from your own sword. Okay. You want the power from the Lord. Let me grab this too in the book of Psalms 110. Psalms 110. And I'll start at 1. The Lord Yahweh said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. That's right. The Lord said unto my Lord. That's talking about Yahweh Shah and King David. Why would King David be calling King Solomon his Lord? It's because through the if you could receive it, King Solomon is the Lord in a regeneration. Psalms 110 and 2, the Lord Yahweh shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. That's right, the rod of strength, man. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Okay, he's going to make our enemies our footstool by giving us the power. Okay. Psalms 110 verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, and the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. Yeah, the people shall be willing in the day of thy power. They'll be willing to believe in your God when you got the power. They don't have any faith. They don't believe the words, though. They're going to be willing then, though. That's the power we really need. Unexplainable power, undeserved, just given from the Lord. To break in pieces these heathen. Isaiah 65 verse 10, and Sharon shall be a fold of flocks, in the valley of Achor a place of the herds to lie down for my people that have sought me. And that's his elect. I believe Sharon is in Jerusalem, somewhere near Jerusalem. It's talking about Israel. Okay, in that area. Isaiah 65 and 11, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. So when you look up that troop, it's actually talking about another god, an idol. Let's look that up as a matter of fact. There's two in Isaiah 65 and 11. It says, but ye are they that forsake the Lord, talking about 2/3 of the nation of Israel, that forget my holy mountain, which is Jerusalem, Zion, that prepare a table for that troop. Let's look at that word, troop. It's an idol. You furnish drink offerings to your idols. Oh, here's this, here's that for a damn fake-ass God. Preparing a table. But here it is, the Lord's preparing a table for us. Yahweh Shai is preparing the table for his elect. That's why this is how we eat. This is how we serve one another. Okay? We're just servants. I wanted to go to Isaiah 65 and 11. I don't, brother. You have a blessed day, though. Isaiah 65, that brother always asking for change, man. If I had it, I'd give it to him. I don't have it. It says, for that troop, the word there is Gad. Gad, god of fortune, a Babylonian deity. So here it is, you preparing a table for that troop, okay, which is, right now is Esau. That's who you worship. That's the god of this world, according to 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. Let's go there real quick. So you preparing the table for Esau. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 4, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. That's right, the image of God, man. He blinded you by putting you in these harlot houses, creating all these stumbling blocks. He's like, we call him the snare of the fowler in Psalms 91. That's one of the traps he set for you, for you 2/3. And the rest of the world. That's why you worship him. That's why he got temples and embassies in everybody's country. And that's another sign that, look at all the embassies he has all over the world. Russia don't have all the embassies like that all over the world. China don't have bases all over the world. But Esau does. The American Edomite does. That's why he talks the shit that he's talking. I'll put tariffs on your country. Okay. So like, yeah, Isaiah 65 and 11. I just grabbed it. It's Gad, and it's a Babylonian deity. Let's read it again. Isaiah 65 and 11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord. How do you forsake the Lord? You don't obey him. That prepare a table for that troop. That troop is a Babylonian deity. The modern day Babylonians are the Edomites. Okay, and he's the God of this world, according to 2 Corinthians 4 and 4. You're preparing a table for him. Okay, you worshiping him. That's what you do when you're preparing the table for a God, for Babylonian deity, is you're showing your worship for. And that furnished the drink offering unto that number. Let's look into that word, unto that number. That's another thing in this. So the troop and the number. Let's look at this word number. Unto that number. It says Mene, fate or fortune, god of fate, who the Jews worshipped in Babylonia. That's right. So the number is not just a number. The troop is not just a troop. These are different gods that you're worshiping. The god of fortune. That's mammon today, the money. That's what y'all worship today. You got to get the bag, they call it. That's who you worship. It tells you in the book of Matthew where your eye is, where your heart is, there where your... Let me grab that, Matthew 6. Where your heart is, there where your eye... Something like that. Matthew 6 and... Matthew 6 in verse... I'll start up a little bit. Matthew 6 verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. So that's talking about you laying up money and shit like that. People can steal your money. People can steal your house or break into it and all that. You can't, there's nothing physical that you can keep here. Okay, so he's saying don't trust in uncertain riches. This nigga about to switch the whole system anyways. You think you can store up gold and shit like that and think you're gonna be able to survive these days that are coming, man. You're out of your damn mind. Okay? Let me grab this in the book of Proverbs 11. And Proverbs 11. You're out of your damn mind. You putting your money in a bank, man. That shit belongs to Amalek. Putting your fucking basket in this nigga's hands. Every time you get direct deposit, that ain't your money. You working for free. You're a slave here. And don't ever forget that. Nigga taking your money and buying bullets and robbing it. Get the fuck out of here. This dude's out of here. You gotta go. He need to go into slavery. That's where his ass belongs. These are slaves acting like this, man. That's what they are. Renegade slaves, Proverbs chapter 11. Proverbs 11. Ah, shit, where is it? I can't even think of the precept. Yeah, Proverbs 11 and 4. It says, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. So riches are not going to profit you in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. And I was just thinking about that when I was hearing all the shit that, what's his name was talking, Full Spectrum was saying. But he wasn't talking about money, though. He wasn't talking about money. You know, some people, man, they buying silver and gold, man. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. I really don't. That shit. If I gotta count on that, man, I don't think it's telling you lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth. Gold and silver is treasures upon earth. Am I lying? Or something? Maybe I'm wrong. Is that treasures upon earth? Let me grab this in the book of Zephaniah. I'm gonna hold that. Let me grab Zephaniah real quick. I could be lying, man. Maybe I need to go and get some silver and gold like the rest, like these people who are preparing for the system to collapse. They think they're gonna barter. I don't know where the scriptures tell you, yeah, there's gonna be get some silver and some gold so you can barter in the last days. I don't know, Proverbs 11 and 4. I can't find Zephaniah for some reason. Let me go into my digital sword real quick. Let's grab that. Zephaniah chapter 1 and verse 18. It says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So good luck. Good luck, man. I'd rather just have the Lord be dealing with me and guiding my steps like he said he was going to do. That's where I'm putting my trust. You know, these are basic scriptures, man. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, man. That's red letter. Where moth and rust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. So I'm laying up, the real treasure is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's the gold. That's the silver. Okay. Let me grab this in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse number 20. It says, no, Revelation chapter 3 and verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. So there you go. Buy of me gold tried in the fire. That's the gold you should be buying, okay? The Lord, you need to be buying, paying attention to his word, investing in your relationship with him. Fuck this nigga stock market. One day you're gonna wake up and guess what? Robinhood's cut off. Binance, Bitcoin, all that shit. You ain't gonna have access to it. Your phone just got shut off. You couldn't even get into your phone a couple of days ago because Verizon got shut off. You could not only get into your phone, how are you gonna get into your money if your phone's cut off? And these are examples of what the Lord's talking about. But this is the point. Matthew 6, verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So with the things that you put what you treasure, that's where your heart's gonna be. Your heart's gonna be looking at stupid fucking graphs. Oh, look at this, it went up today. Oh, it went down, I'm sad. Yesterday, now it's down today. Oh, your mind's not supposed to be on that, man. How ye Mac Tesh, there's gonna be a day when that shit's gonna crash. And then all hell's gonna break loose. And you gotta be like a pilgrim in the earth, according to 2 Esdras 16:40. So you tell me, it tells you in the book of, even Paul said, man, those that sell be as those they sold not. Those that buy be as those that buy not. Those that all of these things, man. He's not supposed to be counting these things. Or not counting it, but not counting on it. Isaiah 65 and verse number 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Yeah, you chose to continue to be wicked. So you're going to bow down to the slaughter. Ultimately, the slaughter's going to come when these different judgments come, but ultimately when those thermonuclear missiles come. But a lot of y'all ain't going to make it to that point. He got enough for the slaughter, so he's already starting to pick some of y'all off. I was watching a video, this dude got shot in his eye by an ICE agent. Then he's explaining his injuries. He said he got shards of metal fragments behind his eye and pieces of plastic. So clearly they're not shooting, they're shooting some lethal shit at you, man. That explode and disperse. And it got pepper spray in it, but it's not just pepper spray. It's little fragments of metal and pieces of plastic. So you want to go out there and protest, good luck. Wear some goggles. Maybe you can protect your eye, because that's what he's aiming for, the face. He shot this Jake right in the face. He was just walking by. He lifted the shit up to his face and shot him in the face, man. But that's what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans get. A lot of y'all gonna be taken in great number according to 2 Esdras 5:1 because you lack knowledge. Lord didn't tell you to go out there and protest with the heathen. That's Satan against Satan. Let them fight. Let Esau fight against his own country. Let him fuck his own shit up. It's time for his ass to go out there and protest. Just like a nigga would do. I can't wait till they start getting the hoses, the water. If our ancestors could see our ancestors that went through that just 50, 60 years ago, they'd be clapping their hands up. That's what these motherfucking crackers get, they would tell you. My grandmother was here, she was laughing her ass off. Like, good. That's what the fuck they get. All those rocks they thrown at the Boston school in crisis, the busing crisis. You gotta pay for that shit, man. Now you getting hit in your eye. You getting shot in your face. That's Satan casting out Satan. If a kingdom be divided, let me grab it. I don't want to sound like I'm talking from my own words, man. Let them go out there and protest. Mark chapter 3, hopefully they go protest about Greenland. They should be mad about that. Why they ain't out there protest about Greenland? Go show the government how mad you are about the duck saying he gonna take over Greenland. He said he's gonna go, he's thinking about going into Mexico too. He said he wants to help with the cartel problem that's over there. Mark chapter 3, verse 23, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And that's the so-called white man casting out himself. He don't know he's Satan for some reason. How the hell you think you got all this, you dumbasses? Satan means adverse. So you're adverse to the Heavenly Father. Like I was saying, the Lord created you to be an abomination. Let me grab this in the book of Proverbs. Damn, I went over my time. I'm gonna grab this. I didn't even grab the precept I wanted in the beginning. I'm gonna grab that too, but I gotta go. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, so-called white man has that. A lying tongue, that's him. Hands that shed innocent blood, that's Esau. A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, that's Esau. Feet that be swift in running to mischief, Esau. A false witness that speaketh lies, that's Esau. And he that soweth discord among brethren. So that's a 7 abominations. That's what the Lord created. He's an abomination. That's what the so-called white man is. He's an abomination. All right? And that's why Satan's casting out Satan. Let me grab this in the book of Malachi. I don't want to, that might be too much. You know, you might not understand. Malachi 1 and verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountain and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So he hates the so-called white man, Esau. Mark 3, verse 24, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And that's why these protests and duck fighting, they should all be one. They were all one when they came over here and killed all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, that shame's starting to creep in a little bit. Now they want to protest. And that's the beginning of their fall. It tells you in the book of Isaiah 33 and 1, when thou shalt cease to be treacherous, they shall be treacherous with thee. So these are the signs that are playing out. Mark 3, verse 25, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. So this is a division between the so-called white man and the so-called white man. So you should have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to get out from between that, okay? You don't need to be in these protests, and let him cuss his ass out. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. That's Esau. He cannot stand but have an end. Okay, so that's the fall of the so-called white man coming to pass. You're seeing it day to day. Every protest. Okay? Everything. It's all for the sins he's committed. The Lord's finally showing you that he ain't dealing with him. Isaiah 65 in verse 13. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So going back to the full spectrum, man. You know, I wanted to grab this, but he's putting his chips in the one basket. You know, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna write a journal every day. I'm gonna make sure that my wife and this, I'm gonna have chickens. I'm gonna have crickets. He even went as far as talking about rat traps. So that's how he wants to prepare. You go ahead and do that, man. I'd rather just bear the indignation of the Lord. Hopefully he has pity on me in that time. But this is where we're getting our rest from, that the Lord's going to provide for us. Okay? That we're not going to make it with our own gold and silver. The Lord is getting the glory in this time, man, for his elect. Ultimately, I think that's a sign of, get your gold, get your silver, but just know that's not going to deliver you in the day of wrath, man. Righteousness delivereth from death. If you don't know that, buying gold and silver is vanity. Okay? You should be buying this gold that's in this book. Isaiah 65 and verse 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So a lot of people, he said his servants, they're going to eat, man. So if you're serving the Lord, hey, that's a sign, that's a token that he's dealing with you. Okay, so you don't ever forget that. If you're serving the Lord, you being obedient, that don't mean you out here, if you a woman, no, it's not about that. You constantly increasing and you putting the Lord first, that's serving the Lord, being obedient. But some of us are to go out and teach. But that's not everybody's lot, but being obedient. He'd rather obedience than sacrifice. All right, and I'm gonna end it there. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodash, Shalom, Abad Babal, and Kwam Yasharallah.